How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, my superhero co-host, Mike the Crum. Mike, how are you?
I'm tired. I'm pretty exhausted, but we had it, man. I didn't care. This one had to happen. After that game, man, had to do the pod. There was going to be no messing around. So I had to stay a little bit longer at work. I'm a little bit fatigued, but we're going to go through it and the excitement of how we dismantled a team tied for the best record in football at their house off of a game where they beat the friggin' Buffalo Bills on the road. That was impressive.
Yes, Mike, it sure was. I know we were talking offline. We both had some pretty busy days today, but before we get into our tonight's discussion, where can we find you on Twitter?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Like I was saying, we both had pretty busy days today. When you sent me a text and you were a video rather saying you were picking up dinner, so I assume it might not have been Meatless Monday today. So what was on the menu today?
I tried, man, but I wouldn't have been able to get home, get on the show sheet if I had to cook and everything. So there's a taco truck on the way from my work to my house. So I stopped by and I tried a al pastor quesadilla and a chili verde burrito. Pretty damn good. I like their sauce. They had a habanero sauce that weirdly was sweet. You know what I mean? They obviously were trying to balance it, but it worked well with the al pastor. So, it was good. I would get it again. It's not the one that I'm not going to say because I can't say it. I'm so white, dude. I make it sound terrible. And then Brenda and Melanie and other coworkers yell at me. So, yeah, I'm just not going to say it. But there's a better food truck, but the new one was pretty good.
I bet habanero with like a mango or peach kind of mixed in would be pretty good, dude.
That's mango habanero is a go-to wing flavor in almost everywhere, anywhere that sells wings.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good, man. I haven't had a good taco truck quesadilla or a burrito in quite some time.
Yeah, I wanted the carnitas. That's my favorite. Bro. And I wanted them in nachos, but they were still making the carnitas, but even the nacho cheese needed like more time. So I was like, I get it. I work at a friggin' place. I'm not going to get mad.
I like al pastor, but I swear every place is different. It's so hit or miss that I rarely ever get it.
Pork and pineapple, spicy pork with pineapple is hard to mess up, but yeah, I've honestly had some bad al pastor. That's what I wouldn't have got. I would have got the carnitas, but I was like, all right, I'll get the al pastor instead.
Where do you stand on the tortas?
Great. Where is there a controversial thing where tortas aren't liked?
No, I'm just curious because I know it was a while ago we ranked our sandwiches and neither one of us had them on there, but man, I swear nobody ever talks about how good they are.
Tortas are great. They can be messy, and that's typically why they don't make my list. It's because they're pretty messy sandwiches. But you get the right meat in a torta. So it sounds dirty.
Moving on, like the pork Milanese or the chicken Milanese is the way to go with that.
Yeah, I like carnitas.
Oh man, dude, yes, carnitas everything, my friend.
Make anything. That's my asada. Other people get asada. I'm not really an asada guy. I like carnitas.
I either get carnitas or barbacoa.
Oh, don't even see that one's not offered as much in just taco trucks. But when I cook like that, I like barbacoa. That is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Micah, my mouth is starting to water. Literally, it really is. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner and some Reese's peanut butter cup cookies. I'm feeling like about a 6-year-old, but man, I could really go for a taco truck taco. So let's talk some football here. We talked about the Monday night, the massacre in Minnesota. When you look at that game, Mike, what was the most impressive? Was this the most impressive win by any team so far this season?
Man, I gotta say yes. I mean, I looked through and I'm sitting there just on resume alone. If you just beat team tied for the best record at their house, coming off beating like a perennial favorite for the Super Bowl in the Buffalo Bills at their house. You know, we're coming off a choked it away loss. It's our second road game, back-to-back road game. And it's not like you won 28-27 on a like they dismantled them in every way humanly possible that you could do in a football game. They beat them so badly. And like they ended Kirk Cousins' 39 game streak of throwing a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
The Minnesota went 1 for 11 on third down. Like it was crazy. There's a stat that I saw that we're going to talk about stats later. I'm not going to bring up now because I saw you're mentioning it. So I was throw it in now. That is just like, oh my God.
Sickening, dude.
Dude, it's unbelievable. So I put that in the article that just dropped sometime today while I was at work. I'll promote that out, get that out to everybody later after the pod. But man, it was just, I can't think of another one like even in the realm of that win. That was incredible.
Yeah, I was looking at it too. It's definitely by far, no question about it, the most dominant win. One win that I thought was impressive, obviously not as impressive or definitely not the style points that this game had, but the Jets beating Buffalo at home, I thought that was a signature win for them. I think the Jets are probably more pretenders when you look at the quarterback play, but I mean, as far as dominant, dude, I haven't seen a performance like that where a team just gets humiliated at home the way that they've been playing like that. And it's been a couple of seasons, man, but yeah, that was impressive. You can't take that away from anybody.
A 9-1 team, and their only loss was to the other 9-1 team at that team's house.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Ooh, very incredible. So, Mike, looking at this game, it's every all three sides of the ball play pretty well, but which unit do you think played best?
Okay. I want to put this out there. I think they have a valid thing, but they're so underutilized. But I put this question in so that I could put up the special teams unit. Maher hitting not only 2 for 2 on 50-yard field goals, but 2 for 2 on the 60-yarder. That review was I don't mind if they wanted to review it. That's fine. You got to get that call in before the kicks in the uprights, and literally the announcers are like, "Oh yeah, it's and then they're like, wait a minute, what's going on? What the announcers were fooled by it. It was so far after. Once it gets to a certain point, you just got to let it go. Like the whole play was over, and then they're like, no, we're going to review it, and then they didn't overturn it. It's like, luckily he made it. I think it would have made more of a fuss if he wouldn't have. But not just them, his leg kicking off. He doesn't allow many kickoff returns, and then when he shorts one, which seems like on purpose because the team is like, we're not going to be able to kick return. Maher just kicks out of the end zone. Jabril Cox comes down and stops him at like the 20. So they're back to, you have Turpin, who did finally drop one, which was shocking, but he got it back. But even when they kick it short because they fear him, he comes up and makes he doesn't let it bounce and go 20 yards. When he gets the ball and gets a chance at a return, he normally is always like a threat. He's getting a high average per return. Just that special teams unit was so impressive that last game. And Maher was so impressive that maybe style points wise, they were the least of the three. But go 4 for 4 from 50 plus, including 2 60-yarders. You could throw them in there. So I wanted to make sure to do that.
Did you see Brett Maher's, I guess his wife or her girlfriend's tweet yesterday? She said it was after the second 60-yarder. She said, I'm going to have lockjaw tonight.
Way to go, Maher's old lady.
Oh, man. She's a good follow on Twitter, dude.
I'm going to have to get her because I was Brett Urban's wife. That was like my best. Loved her. Right. And so I'm going to have to, get on Twitter and follow her because that's a good woman right there.
It's pretty cool to see a player's wife be so cool and supportive and vocal about their man and stuff, their success and everything.
and be able to joke about this. So
exactly.
Tell jokes, even a joke about sex, because
Right.
there was 100 people that got on her thing and was like, way to diminish women like this. I'm like, she's just throwing a joke out there about her and her husband.
And it's her husband, her boyfriend, whatever. That mind your business.
Yeah. And she wants to blow her damn husband. Let her blow her husband. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Mike, let's move on. I'm gonna give my part of the question before we start getting to a conversation we don't want to have here. I feel the unit, Mike. I mean, like you said, all three played well.
I'm sorry. Did we go back to the tweet or something?
Oh, Brett Maher's unit, Mike.
I'm sorry, seriously. Man. I'm sorry.
Mike, with 7 sacks, less than 200 total yards allowed, and 3 points scored. Man, the Dallas defense just, my God, Mike. I don't even know what to say. I don't know how to describe it. Just absolutely, absolutely dominant. But I mean, the offense, they were incredible. Dak was incredible. Tony Pollard was incredible. But that defense, they made a statement. They were talking. Micah Parsons was saying things throughout the week. He definitely wanted to come out there and make a statement, and he did. So.
That would be my choice too. But since I did special team, offense scored on the first 7 drives. Dak Prescott threw almost 90% completion, didn't get sacked once, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, you could have flipped a coin on that question because it was a nearly perfect game.
I believe our first punt came in the 3rd quarter. How sickening is that, dude?
Crazy. First 7 drives scored on everyone.
So, Michael, what was the stat? We heard quite a few of them yesterday that impressed you the most.
For me, it was, and I have an explanation why this is. Not that it's not impressive on its own, but for me, the Justin Jefferson 3 catches, 33 yards. Because here's the thing about it. He got his last catch going into the 2-minute warning. Before the 2-minute warning, he caught a ball to give him 3 catches, 33 yards. So in a game where in the 3rd quarter, in the 3rd quarter, they were already up by 20 going into the 3rd quarter. They were up 37-7. So all Minnesota's doing is dropping back and passing. That Diggs is playing off because you don't want to give up big plays. He didn't give up anything to Justin Jefferson. And that just blows my mind to me that you would think like, I'm going to play back, let him catch a few underneath, 6-7 catches, 80 yards. It was a blowout. Who cares? Diggs followed him around and said, nah, bro, you ain't getting shit. Even in the second half, when y'all are all throwing, you ain't touching the ball. Impressive.
Dude, it's insane that Diggs is with like a third of the reception. Does he have 4 this year? And he's even more dominant this year than he was last year. How sickening is that?
He's just, people don't even try him. Like the best. I'm going to run. We have a question later, and I'm going to run through some stats.
Yeah.
Bro.
Mikey, this was a question by you here. I didn't notice it. I guess I was overly excited. I had some family over here last night, but you mentioned Peters moving to left tackle and Tyler Smith.
Whoa! Your stat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself, Mike. The most impressive stat for me, dude, Tony Pollard having more total yards than the Viking offense. Absolutely just ridiculous. How many times has that ever happened?
He scored 2 touchdowns. They scored 3 total points.
He had 189 total yards, and the Vikings had 180.
It's insane. He outscored him 14-3 himself and outgained him by almost 10 yards himself.
Dude, that freaking rainbow drop to Tony Pollard from Dak for that long, what was it, like a 35-yard TD?
Yeah, they set that up so well too to get that linebacker one-on-one with them and everything. It was the way Dak audibled without even looking at Tony Pollard, and he's given hand signals to every receiver and tight end. And they had a thing on one of the shows where it showed Dalton Schultz kind of pointed it out to Dak. I can't remember what it was on, but Dalton Schultz was like, hey, look what we got right here. You could see him communicate to Dak. And then Dak fakes an audible to everyone else. Doesn't say shit to Tony Pollard, knowing that Tony Pollard was the read the whole time. It was beautiful.
Man, Dak was on one yesterday, dude.
Yeah, he was in his bag. He was New England Dak. Tampa week 1 Dak, only he had a defense.
I don't know, man. That game yesterday might have been Dak's career best game, dude.
I see. For me, I think that Tampa, because of how great that defense was last the first week of last year.
Right.
It made me laugh because he comes down, gets the lead, and if the defense gets a stop, he's a hero. He beats good teams. He beat Brady. He's unbelievable. And because the defense gave it up to Tom Brady, then they were like, see, Dak can't win a big game. I'm like, it makes me laugh.
Yeah, what was that game? 41-38. That's Dak's fault, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Micah, got ahead of myself here, but you noticed something about Jason Peters moved late in the game, moving to left tackle, Tyler Smith moving to left guard. Is that something you expect to see moving forward?
I believe that after the Thanksgiving game, when they get that 10-day break, I think they'll make that switch. I think McGovern goes to fullback, 6th lineman. I think Smith goes to left guard to get himself some snaps for when Tyron comes back, because Tyron's going to left tackle. He's too great of a player. And Dallas not going to do that to him. Have him work all the way back, and then when he's healthy, go sit on the bench for a rookie who's played above expectations and very good, but not to the level of what Tyron Smith could be.
Right.
And so I think Smith will start to move over there with Peters at left tackle. This allows Peters to get snaps at left tackle in case Tyron gets hurt again or isn't ready coming back, and just isn't playing well. And Tyler Smith can hopefully upgrade the left guard, who's played very well, but he can make him better and get more push inside and get him ready for, what he's going to be for this playoff run.
Mike, when you look at Tyron, of course, he's still playing at a high level, but when you factor in the age and his injury history now, I mean, I don't know, how excited are you to have him back? I mean, how much of a difference maker do you think he will be coming back after missing so much time already?
I'm extremely excited if he can get back for the last 2-3 games of the season. Right. If he's coming back and his first game is running, I don't want him playing in the playoffs. He's got to play at least 2 games before the playoff run. But the truth is, I'm excited. Peters is in shape now. And I love Tyler Smith has played excellent football, way above expectation. He's not Peters. Peters last year was the Bears' highest graded lineman at 40 years old playing left tackle. He's just not a good guard. He's just not. He knows how to play tackle. He knows what to do there. So him moving out there and Tyler Smith moving inside, just that gets me excited, because now McGovern goes back to the rotating guy who can play all the spots inside. He goes back to fullback. He goes back to the 6th lineman. Like, I love McGovern in that role. And I'm just excited for that. And it sets up if Tyron's ready, comeback. And Tyron and Tyler Smith and your backups are McGovern and Peters. That's nice.
How have you felt overall about McGovern's performance this season?
Good. About he's probably been our worst lineman, but our line's been good. So it's like not, Tyler Biadasz has blown away expectations. Tyler Smith has blown away expectations. Zach Martin has had his best year in 2 years, and that's only because he's, knock on wood, stayed healthy the whole time. Yeah. And Terrence Steele by far has had his best year. Did y'all know Danielle Hunter played in that Minnesota Vikings game? Did you know that? He played in that game. Danielle Hunter, and he didn't do anything. He got locked up by Steele. So that's why there's no talk of moving. Steele's your right tackle. And I know people know he's a free agent. He's restricted, guys. So Dallas has a minimum 1 more year. And what they likely do is use that restricted year to go, look, we could pay. Why wait a year? take this little bit lower contract, but get paid the way we did LC, the way we did Tyron, the way we, and they paid him every year. They paid him through injury. They paid, they made sure they take care of their guys. So they may use this restricted year to sneak a 4-year deal out of Steele at a nice discounted price.
Dude, Romo called him the best run blocking right tackle in the league yesterday.
That is impressive. He definitely is in that top 5 conversation.
Dude, for an undrafted free agent to top 5 run blocker, come on, bro.
An undrafted free agent who could not play football that first year. He was one of the worst people. I couldn't believe they kept putting him out there.
Yeah.
And then he took that off season and he was nothing spectacular the second year, but you can see it. You can go, oh, he did this. And then they said, no, we don't need LC. And it was a right decision. We can say that now. We criticize the front office. We could easily go, oh, you want OBJ? Then you got to admit Amari was a mistake. And it was. But in the same breath, then you got to give them credit for they backed up the Randy Gregory mistake and they did not miss a beat with Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler. Those two are killing. So yes, they effed it up. I get it. We could be mad about that, but they backed that up. Steele over LC was the correct call. Once they were able to secure the other tackle spot, that was the right call. Steele's been a much better offensive lineman. It just had not like expectation. He's just been better. Oh yeah, they've hit on a few of their calls, and I'm one of the big critics of the front office. I was giving them shit about Amari this week. I was saying that. You can't tell me that you want to bring in OBJ, because I want to bring in OBJ, but don't go, I want OBJ, but I'm still getting rid of Amari was smart. No, you can't do both, because OBJ is admitting we should have just kept Amari, because we don't know what OBJ is going to bring in. He is a flyer. You don't know you've seen Michael Gallup. He hasn't been Michael Gallup, and that's been off. He had more time to get ready, and has only hit his first ACL. OBJ had the injury sooner, and it's his second. So it's a total flyer. So if you're bringing him in and likely to a multi-year deal, you have to say the Amari trade was a mistake, especially when they only got a 5th for a guy who's on pace for 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns with Jacoby friggin' Brissett as his. He ain't got Deshaun Watson in his prime, and he's going 1,210 average right now. So, sorry, got on my little tangent there.
No, you're fine. Mike, speaking of hits, Trayvon Diggs, 2nd round pick in the 2020 draft. Is he the best cornerback in the NFL?
I got to give him yes. And this matchup was a perfect one, a perfect example of why. Because he's not as good a one-on-one cover guy as other NFL corners, but he's such a threat that he's starting to get where he's not thrown at. Let's run through. Okay, so we know Trayvon Diggs in a game that was all passing, 3 catches, 33 yards, all in the first half, nothing in the second half. So let's run through the other top guys. We got Jair Alexander. That's my top guy before, he shut down, before Diggs did what he did. That was my top guy. Then I looked, 9 receptions, 184 yards, and 2 touchdowns on Green Bay. And I don't want to hear about, how much was he on the Jair Alexander, because Diggs followed him all game. So now you got to give him that credit. You can't now go, but is he following? Or Richard Sherman only played one side. Darrelle Revis followed him all game and shut him down. Slay only gave up 6 for 48. Not bad, but he was targeted 12 times. They didn't fear Slay. They
got cooked on Monday Night Football.
They got cooked by McLaurin, who always gets shut down by Diggs. And that's a great wide receiver. How about 10 for 47 on Lattimore from the Saints? 10 for 147. And then he put Howard and Jones for Miami, 6 catches, 107 yards on the Dolphins. So, he cooked everyone except Slay. Slay had a good game. You'll take 6 for 48. Slay had a good game. Diggs had you weren't a factor at all game. So yeah, I got to give Diggs the credit, and it doesn't mean he's going to be all year. You seen last year at the New England game, I called Dak he's the quarterback that was playing the best at the end of this week. He was the best. That's what I'm saying about Diggs. About Diggs right now, he's playing better cornerback than anybody else in the league. Jalen Ramsey's getting cooked a lot this year. Like, he got cooked again.
Yeah, dude.
He's getting cooked a lot, and that's a great corner. But you got to say what it is. Everybody. I'm not going to go on the yards allowed because I think it's a stupid stat. But all the people that did got to do it now. Diggs compared to those other guys.
Yeah. So, Mikey, you touched on it there. My eyes didn't deceive me, but Diggs was traveling with Jefferson the entire game, correct?
All game. Yeah.
Love to see that. So, do you think Diggs will travel with the team's top receiver every game moving forward?
I don't think that Dallas will do that because they don't want to be predictable. Because he hadn't done it. He hadn't. He basically covered Lazard all game versus Green Bay. But it's not a thing where every week they've had him travel, and he's faced some really good wide receivers. So I think it's going to be, they're going to sneak it in. And like the Eagles, I don't really see a point. Like, you're going to have either Smith or AJ Brown. So yeah, you want him more in AJ Brown, but two good receivers. When you play Buffalo, put him on his brother. You know what I mean? You play Tampa, you put him on Mike Evans if you want, but you don't. I mean, they have Julio and Godwin, so I think it's going to be matchup to matchup, which is smart. You don't want to be predictable.
Yeah, it's just I mean, it was just another thing to add to his resume. The fact that he did follow Jefferson the whole time, something the haters can now say that he doesn't do, and then he still shut him down in a game where Minnesota had to do a lot of passing, they couldn't get anything done.
It was impressive.
So, Mike, our offense looked pretty good yesterday, but at the beginning of the game, Zeke's first game back, 4 straight touches to Zeke. Do you think our offense can be a little too conservative when Zeke is playing?
I'm going to say not to me, and the reason is it's not that it gets more conservative. It's that I like this team is built to play conservative. Like, this team is built to play 3 tight end. One of the reasons I'm so excited to get Tyron back. Put McGovern at fullback, or give me Peters as a 6th lineman. Play 3 tight end. Like, Dak is great in those scenarios passing, and they look like run plays, and they run well now this year because they don't have 2 lighter in the body guys inside with Williams and Biotish. They have more beef everywhere. So, I like the conservative play. So, not that they aren't more conservative, but that I don't have a problem with it. So I'm not going to say they're too conservative like it's a negative, because I don't mind it. Their style of play fits that. Dominate on defense, control the clock offensively, be conservative, keep your defense fresh, score points, which they have been doing. Conservative doesn't mean you can't score. 7 straight, first 7 possessions they scored. So, I don't think they're too conservative.
Yeah, just because you're conservative doesn't mean you're predictable. And we saw they were having a lot of success yesterday. Like you said, this team is built to run. And with the addition of Tony Pollard, kind of adding that wrinkle and what he's able to do, I like the way our offense is running, man.
Me too. And they blew it in the 4th quarter. They should have done more. And the Green Bay the Dallas shouldn't have gave up a 14-point lead to Green Bay, but it was a mix. Like, the offense didn't do enough, the defense didn't get enough stops. Like, it was a mix of stuff. But I mean, they put 35 on them, or 28. Sorry, 28 on them. Yeah. They're averaging 35 in the 4 games Dak's back, so they ain't that conservative.
Yeah, and like you're saying against Green Bay, I mean, throwing for 46 times as opposed to what we did yesterday. I think it was Dak was 22 for 25. I mean, that balance is a lot better for the way this team is built.
Yeah, I don't need Dak throwing over 30. 25 for 276, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Perfect.
Dude, you'll take that efficiency every single week, dude.
All day.
So, going back to that Green Bay game, Mike, when you see how we performed Sunday, Who do you think benefited most from that Green Bay loss? Was it Dan Quinn, maybe Micah Parsons, or Dak Prescott?
I'm gonna be this guy because it still annoys me that they let fucking Aaron Rodgers get him again. Like, they're a better team than them. They just are. They beat them 99 out of 100 times they play. And here's what worries me about this game. If they pull one of those in the postseason, it's over. There's no more coming back the next week and beating up on a team. You're done. Right. So I'm saying none. I'm not going to give them. I'm not going to give them a credit for that. It didn't help nobody. The way they dominated, the feeling we get from that does offset the Green Bay, but it doesn't, because Kirk Cousins is not Aaron Rodgers. I don't care how good the team is. You got to be able to beat Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, those type of guys, Pat Mahomes, in the playoffs if we're going to make a real run, you know? Mm-hmm. And you know, I could just see it. They come out and have the one bad game against the Niners again and get knocked out in the first round, and then they're pissed off, piss and vinegar, but they ain't got a Vikings game to make up for it. So they get nothing out of me. Nada.
Ooh, hey, I like that, Mike. You know, what kind of makes that loss worse is when you see how they did on Thursday night. They lose to the Titans, who are a better team than I think anybody expected, or, you know, even, you know, will admit now. But it really does make that loss worse when you see the Titans kind of beating up on them, and I believe winning by double digits on Thursday night. But to answer the question, I think it was Micah personally. You know, he spoke on it during the week. He comes out and immediately makes a statement and then sets the tone for the game. I think Micah kind of, I don't know if he needed a shot in the arm or what it was, but it seemed like he was the one who did benefit the most.
Yeah, he's that guy on the team. Like, he's the one. Like, I know, like, going into Thanksgiving, every other player might be like, it's Thanksgiving. I know we're 1-10 in the last 11 Thanksgiving games, blah, blah, blah. Now, Micah Parsons is going to be like, this is bullshit. You know, he's gonna get him and go, we don't, you know, look at our record on Thanksgiving. We're supposed to win this game. You know, even if he didn't care about any of that. Just the fact that it'll be in the media, it'll be a thing that's on Twitter, it'll be a thing, it'll annoy him. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, we can't win Thanksgiving. I lost my first thing. No, I ain't losing more Thanksgiving. F that. He's that type. So, yeah, he is definitely the one, but I'm not giving him credit. Green Bay beat Philadelphia's offense has been figured out. And I told you guys on this podcast that the Eagles got a gimmick offense, and that when teams start to see it a second time, they will give blueprints on how to stop it. That doesn't mean they're going to lose every game. That Eagles team is loaded. They're still going to hit a couple drives. They're still going to have a good defense that can shut down Matt Ryan. You know, they got wins. But if you look, the Washington's first team that saw them twice, what'd they do? Wiped them out. They couldn't move the ball on them. The Colts could barely move the ball on them. They were winning by quarterback draws because the gimmick was figured out. They just got so far into, we know what's coming here, that they switched it up and ran draws. Well, how often do you think that's going to work? Yeah. It's just not. It's something that's going to get, as the Giants play them again, Dallas plays them again. A team like Green Bay, who has a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who, if you can only score 20 points on him, Green Bay should be able to get him, you know? So that'll make up for it. If Rodgers can do that to Eagles, I won't be so mad about last week's loss.
All right, Mike. So I think, you know, you and I both didn't think there was really a conversation here, but it was a conversation last week. Did this game put the Dak Cousins conversation to rest?
I'm pretty sure you're going to have the same answer. There wasn't one.
Yeah.
Not from real, like, if you were one of the Dak haters that didn't like that he was only half white, or if you were an Eagles fan.
Oh, God, dude.
That's just, they exist. Oh, we know they exist.
Right,
and then
right.
There's the Eagles fans that are just trying to, you know, get our buddy Tom will do that, you know, and he tells me too, he's like, I just try to make them, you know, battle that because, you know, he knows Kirk Cousins is not as good. He knows that. And then this last game is one of those things. So there was no conversation from anybody that really showed the two. I know you can put up their stats next to each other and go, oh, look, they have the same kind of stats. But you knew there was a difference between the two quarterbacks. This game, if you made that argument before this game, you're going to make that argument until Dak Prescott wins a Super Bowl. And then you'll like, oh, he was carried to it. If Kirk Cousins had a defense like Dak did, he probably would have had a better shot at a Super Bowl too. It'll be like that. If you have that mindset, you're just somebody that doesn't understand the QB position, or you're just hating the hate.
Yeah, one of the things is after the Green Bay losses, Dak can't win the big game or like win in prime time. You look at Cousins' primetime record; it's far worse. You know what I mean? And then
Dak has one of the best records versus winning teams.
Yeah,
that shit's hard. He's 19-24 now against like winning and like the other ones that are up that high are like, I know Mahomes, Brady are really good versus winning teams.
Rodgers.
And then I think Rodgers is even worse than Dak though. Like he's in that range, of close to 500. So it's sorry,
go ahead.
No, please.
No, I was going to say, since his rookie year, Dak's like, when you look at numbers, Dak's always up there with like the Rodgers, the Bradys, like the top tier guys. So it's, man, people, the things they try to find to discredit his success and his skills it's just laughable.
Yeah, it's they use QB wins as a stat, and just there's other teams that are just built better, and to make to make it like it was Dak's fault, that Green Bay game, or to make it like it's Dak's fault that the defense gave up 300 yards rushing. It's like, I get it. I want him to pull out some of those games too. I talked about it last week, but I mean, there's only so much you could do, even at the quarterback. Like, he's keeping them like around in contention.
Yeah. He definitely kept them relevant in 2017, 2018, times where they probably shouldn't have been. 2019 especially,
Yeah, 100%.
So, Mike, if any yesterday's victory was a statement game, if there ever were one, but did you feel that McCarthy and the coaching staff were maybe making a statement by keeping the starters in the game when they were up by 30?
I didn't put it like that. I thought they got everybody out about the right time, except for Micah Parsons.
That was scary, dude.
You got to be able to tell the young lion, like, if you're going for the sack record, get your sacks then more before that. Because if the offense blows somebody out, your ass is sitting down, period. So other than that guy, though, I thought they took him out. You can't go too early. Don't let us not forget Aaron Rodgers just came back from 14 points down the fourth quarter. So we were up by 30 in the third, so they waited a little bit longer, make sure to secure it up. I thought it was fine.
Dude, I was so worried when I saw Micah started limping in the fourth quarter. I'm like, why is he still in the game? And then he almost gets injured.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Punch somebody.
Yes. So, Mike, last week you had some, I don't want to say strong words, but your opinion of Dak had seemed to change a bit. Did this game change your impression of Dak at all?
It moved the needle slightly. I mean, just to dominate like that, I feel like he's fully coming back off his injury, and if he continues, even if the defense and the run game and the special teams doesn't continue and we don't win every game by 20 points, if he continues to play with the efficiency he's playing at, then I will be. But man, that last game left a sour taste in my mouth. And I said it before, it was not. He's probably the furthest person you can blame. It's kind of unfair what I'm saying, because it's unfair to tell somebody, can't you just be Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers? But I want him to be. I feel like he's right there. If in a couple of these games, not a blowout, not versus Kirk Cousins, but in a couple of these games where he's facing the best of the best and he's got to make that 1-2 minute drive, I just want him to hit one or two of those a season. He's going to lose a couple of them. Josh Allen lost the last two ones, but then he won in Kansas City. So you don't give him as much crap because he did a couple. I just want him to do that. Now, this one didn't move the needle some, though. 9-1 at their house. Like, they annihilated him. So, yeah, it changed a little.
And to your point, Mike, you know how I feel about Jalen Hurts, but to see Jalen Hurts kind of have a bad game and then he found a way to win, he makes a game-winning play at the end of that Colts game. That it's not that's what you want your quarterback to do. So it's not unfair for you to ask that, but it's when you're saying, can he beat a Mahomes? Can he beat a Brady? Can he beat a Rodgers? That can be difficult, but I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, if he came back versus the Colts and won that game, I wouldn't even consider that one of the impression ones. I'm like, why weren't you up by 2 touchdowns? Yeah. I'm saying when Aaron Rodgers brings Dallas back, Green Bay back, and it's 2 minutes and you got the ball at 3 timeouts, take it down in the game. Take it down in the game. That's all. And again, he's the furthest thing from the reason we lost. He actually played great. He was one of the reasons we were up by 14 points. People can misconstrued me saying, I want him to do a little bit more I'm blaming him for why we lost. No, it is the first. He played good. I want him to play great. I want him to play elite. I want him, and not every game. He's going to lose some of them. Okay, he lost this one to Rodgers. Now, the next time we play somebody coming up, when we play the Eagles, if it's close, get him at the end. Or we play a playoff game against the Niners, and we have that last drive to go down and win the game, go get him. Just win 1 or 2 of those. You play 4 to 5 a year, win 2. And we have a totally different conversation.
Mike, I don't know if you ever watched this, but Kurt Warner has a channel on YouTube where it's like Quarterback Confidential, I think, and he breaks down a quarterback's game. And he was breaking down Dak's film against Green Bay. And I didn't watch the entire thing, but it seemed like, based on what he was saying, is that Dak was, instead of taking what the defense was giving him like he normally does, he kept trying to do too much and make the impossible throw. So I wonder how much pressure he was putting on himself, to win that big game, to win on Lambeau, to win from McCarthy, to finally beat Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean?
Well, also he made throws to his 2 trusted guys. Man, the Niners wiped out Arizona. He threw to his 2 trusted guys on those picks and they ran the wrong route. Like the first one didn't have to be thrown, get your points and everything. But the second one, it was the second time CeeDee Lamb did that to him, So I really didn't get on. I didn't think he had a bad game. People, man, like Stevie was like, he's got to do this. He's got to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want him to do that. Well, it's unfair. He's not the reason they lost. Didn't say he was. Never said he was the reason they lost. But like he talked about Tolbert lining up off sides. Well, every quarterback, every game checks. Is everything all right? All right. Hey, I got a rookie over here. Make sure this dummy's lined up on sides. Doesn't mean it was Dak's fault. It's all Tolbert's fault. But do I want my quarterback to look over and go, whoa, 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 whoa? Yeah, I want him to. It's not fair. It's not unfair to ask that. It's unfair to ask him to win every one of those games. Patrick Mahomes lost to the Bills this year at home. It happens. I just want him to win some. And since New England, he hasn't like, I'm not going to lose this. I don't care. If I got to run for a first down, I don't care if I got to make that throw. I don't care. We're not losing this one. Nope. He hasn't done that since New England. So I just want him to do it a couple more times. Not I'm not an anti-Dak guy. Hello, people. If you watch the show, welcome. Yeah. I'm a Dak person. I was advocating paying him. I pay him more now. I'd already be re-signing him again.
Something I was thinking about throughout the week, Mike, is you look at Micah Parsons when he's not playing at the level that we've grown accustomed to. You kind of see how, I hate to say mediocre because I don't think that's the right word, but how average our defense looks.
Yeah, they are an average to above average unit without Micah Parsons. With Micah Parsons, they have the ability to be elite.
Yeah. All right, Mike. So here we are with your reviews from the sideline. And this week, I want you to talk to us about what was the difference about Quinn's game plan this week compared to last week.
The Cowboys scored on their first 7 possessions. They were getting run on, pretty good. And then Dallas was just like, we're just going to score every time, So then they can't run the ball. And once it's a passing game, you're done. You're dead. They're just too. They're too great of a pass rushing unit. They come at you from all angles. It's just disgusting to deal with. And then they look elite because that's what they're built to: get ahead, Dallas runs, keeps the ball, keeps the defense tested. The other team has to pass. They're able to unleash the pass rush. They pass rush, they get turnovers. That's how they're an elite team. When Dallas is bad in the first quarters, you know that the Cowboys defense never gave up a first quarter touchdown. So in the games that Dallas scores early and gets themselves a lead and does well, they're good. Games they start slow and the other team's able to maintain their game plan, the defense struggles stopping the run. So it's not difficult. It wasn't really a Quinn thing. He dominated. He did great, but they were still getting run on for over 5 yards carry. It was Dallas. Dallas scored. Dallas did their job too. The offense has a job too.
But I know last week you stated how Micah was playing a lot more. Was it, I guess, outside linebacker? And this week, you know, we saw him on the defensive line. I think obviously that's going to make a big difference. But I do wonder why did maybe Quinn, because of Rodgers' success versus the blitz, did he decide that he didn't want to be as aggressive to kind of make Aaron Rodgers make those difficult throws?
Yeah. So the thing with it was, one, Anthony Barr got hurt, so they needed more linebacker.
And Anthony Brown.
And they didn't want Damone Clark playing 40 plays. They wanted to see how he was going to react after he played 40 plays that one game, how he was going to do in another game. The other thing is Aaron Rodgers is so good at getting rid of the ball that I think he thought Mike is just not going to be able to get there often. We ought to play him where he can stop the run more. It was a mistake by Quinn because by the end of the game, Rodgers was just like, okay, I don't have to worry about Parsons. I'm good. This game, what they did is they played Damone Clark, who had some plays. He looked good. So they played Damone Clark in place of Anthony Barr, and then Parsons was able to edge rush a lot more, and he dominated the game. 10 pressures.
Did you mention Damone Clark? Jabril Cox was one of PFF's highest graded players for the Cowboys yesterday. I know he played a lot of special teams, but nice to see those young guys getting some reps.
Man, next year when they're able to go Damone Clark, Jabril Cox, and Micah Parsons is the designated pass rush extra linebacker, and Curse is still on the team. He's signed for 2 years. Man, it's nasty.
Oh, and Sam Williams, dude.
Oh, Sam Williams. The dude only has 2 moves right now. He doesn't even know yet. He doesn't even know what he doesn't know. And in this offseason, with all the snaps they've got, they're going to take this tape and go, see how you tried to do your one move here? Why don't you learn how to do this? See how much easier it would be? And he's going to go, oh, shit. Yeah, that would work. Let me add that. And he's probably going to add one consistent move and one occasional move. And he's going to be a 7 to 10 sack guy next year, which is just disgusting.
Oh, Lord, dude. Nasty, nasty, nasty. All right, Mike, here we are with one word this week. Use one word to describe Tony Pollard makes this Dallas offense blank.
Explosive.
Okay.
He's that guy. He's their top playmaker. He's the one, whether now this week in the passing game or before this in the running game, he leads the league in running backs and yards per carry. They finally are getting involved in the pass game, and he has 2 pass receptions, so yeah, explosive is the word, because without him, I don't think they'd be explosive. I think they'd be good, but they wouldn't have that big play threat.
Yes. For me, Mike, Tony Pollard makes the Dallas offense elite. You got a weapon like that to complement. What's that?
He brought out the E word.
Is that too bold, you think?
I don't believe their offense is elite yet, but I'll say since Dak came back, they're averaging 35 points a game.
I mean, dude, 35 points a game, bro.
35 points is 35 points. So, I mean, let's get them through Thanksgiving and the week after, and if they're still averaging over 30 points a game, I think the E word's gonna work.
And I love how Tony Pollard got 2 TDs yesterday, but Zeke also got 2 TDs. Not a lot of touches. Did take a lot away from Pollard, but we used him effectively.
He was a star of the game for me and he did it on averaging 2.8 yards a carry. But the idea is do your job as good as you could possibly do your job. Zeke is asked to do something different than Pollard's asked to do. And Zeke did his job exquisitely on 3rd and shorts and short yardage touchdowns. So yeah, he was great last game.
That's fair. All right, Mike, here we are with top 5. And this week, of course, it's Thanksgiving week. And one of the most popular desserts around this time of year is pies. So we thought we'd rank our top favorite pies. Mike, hit us with number 5.
We can't use the Rocks one, right? Do you follow wrestling at all?
The Rock's? No, I'm not familiar with the Rock's pie. So what is that?
The Rock loves to eat that pie. Oh, okay. I'm not going to count that one. I won't even say the name of it on air. But so I'm going savory with my first one. I'm going chicken pot pie.
Oh, I didn't even think savory. Such a good call, dude.
Yes. Chicken pot pie. I snuck a savory one in there.
Love that, dude.
That one's easy. Golden and crispy and it cold. It's like a chowder and it's so yummy. It's delicious.
We had turkey pot pies Saturday night for dinner. I'm like, this year I'm gonna make a beef pot pie because I've never had one, but man, they look and sound so good.
Beef pot pies are so good. Use pearl onions, use peas, okay. Use carrots, use potatoes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like a beef stew with a pie crust, dude. I mean, can I get any better than that, dude?
That is exactly what it is. Perfect.
Oh,
do a biscuit crust, pretty bomb.
Oh Lord, Mike, I hate my list now because you stuck in that chicken pot pie. I didn't even think savory, dude. That's why you're the star of the show. That's why you're a genius, my friend.
The foodie.
Right, number 5 on my list, millionaire pie. And for those who don't know what a millionaire pie is, it's a no-bake pie with a rich base of sweetened condensed milk, Cool Whip, cream cheese that's combined with crushed pineapples and pecans. So good. Very, very sweet though, but so good.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is a sweet pie. Can you tell me, is it a traditional pie crust that they use with it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
A graham cracker, that might be pretty bomb though with that.
Oh, I get specifics with my pie. So I will be calling out the crust in each one. The chicken pot pie is obvious, but that's why I mentioned the biscuit. The biscuit crust is nice too.
Did I overhear you say you have 3 savory pies on your list?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I said savory pies, and I thought you said 3. So I misunderstood.
It's okay.
So number 4 on my list, Mike. I worked at a place that was famous for their chicken fried steak, and of course, we had all these homemade pies. And I would look at this pie, and I'm like, "This thing looks disgusting. How do people eat this? It sounded gross." Then I tried it for the first time, and I was like, "Wow, what have I been missing?" Nope, egg custard.
Egg custard. Oh, so just a custard like
custard, like a tart type thing.
Like before you make the ice cream, instead of making ice cream, you let it set and cook in the pie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but yes.
Yeah, egg custard pie. I don't know if I've ever had that.
It's good, dude. If you have like a little diner / cafe spot that has pies and they have one, I'd recommend trying it, dude. It's super, super good.
I can make it.
I'm sure you could, and I'm sure it'd be incredible.
I'm gonna make it. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna make that because I don't think I've had it.
It's so good, bro. It's like it sounds so plain. It looks so plain, but my God.
I will by my birthday. I will have tried it. So within the next 6 weeks.
Yes, sir. All right, Mike. What's number 4 on your list?
Number 4 for me is chocolate pie. This has a graham cracker crust. And I don't do like Cool Whip. I make my whipped cream. So you do a graham cracker crust. It's like basically a chocolate pudding mousse type. And then you put homemade whipped cream and then chocolate shavings. And I like to do milk chocolate pudding with dark chocolate shavings.
Oh yeah, man, that sounds really good.
Bittersweet works too.
Oh yeah, get a little contrast of flavors with the sweet, the dark, the creaminess. Man. Oh, dude, that sounds super good. I know I was like looking through a list of pies just to kind of refresh the memory and everything. Because I don't need a lot of pies, you know what I mean? Like if I'm eating sweets, it's usually ice cream or cookies or something. But I see a lot of like chocolate silk pies. I've never had one, but is it kind of like that or?
Very similar. Typically, chocolate silk pie isn't a traditional crust. That's
Okay.
It's not a graham cracker.
Gotcha. All right, Mike, what's number 3 on your list?
Number 3 is Chicago style pizza.
Love it.
It's not a pizza. It is a pizza flavored pie. That's what it is. It's delicious. Yeah. I'm not like knocking it. I'm just calling it what it actually is. There's a crust. It's a pizza crust. And then it's filled with the toppings like a pizza. And then it is baked. And then you take it out and you cut it like a pie and you eat it like that. It is a pie. It's a pizza pie. And it's delicious. And it's my 3rd favorite pie on the earth. It's great. I'm not knocking it. It's not an insult. Just, it's not really pizza. It's a pie. It's okay.
Dude, I don't know how many people from the East Coast listen to the show, Mike, but there was a place next to one of my favorite bars that me and the homies used to go to. It was called Uno's Pizzeria, like a famous Chicago pizza place. And of course, they had the deep dish pizzas, but they have one of my all-time favorite pizzas. And their sauce, like the hearty tomato sauce with the cheese and everything in the middle, dude, so good. And their crust was phenomenal, man.
Yeah, and they press down the sausage in there first, and then they put the sauce on top, and then the little bit of cheese. Yeah, it's a pie, and it's delicious. That's why it made my list.
So delicious. All right, number 3 on my list. I love lemon flavored desserts, Mike. Lemon cakes, cookies, all that. Lemon meringue pie. Man, lemon meringue pie, dude. Oh.
If I was going all sweet, it's easily, and I'm with you. I'm lemon poppy seed is like my favorite cake. I like the lemon breads over the like banana breads or the pumpkin breads. I love lemon bread, so I'm right with you. Lemon's so good.
Lemon poppy seed, anything, bro.
It's because it's tart. It's not just sweet. Like it makes it taste sweeter because you taste the tartness.
I'm surprised. I've never seen like, you go to a donut shop, you see a lot of like lemon filled donuts, which is no good. But I'm surprised I've never seen a lemon poppy seed donut.
Yeah, it's a good call. I don't think I have either. I'll have to check Judy's Donuts again. They may have it.
That would be a delicious donut, dude.
That would be so good. Ugh, glazed with like a lemon glaze too.
Oh, yes, sir. All right, Mike, number 2 on my list of pies. I'm going pumpkin pie with Cool Whip. I remember going to my aunt's house every Thanksgiving, dude, growing up. After watching some football, going to the desserts, there'd always be all these pies, and there's always the pumpkin pie covered with the whipped cream or Cool Whip. It was always Cool Whip at my aunt's house, but man, that's such a classic combo for me, dude.
Not whipped cream, but it's
not whipped cream. Hispanics do their food right, dude, but I don't think they're going to make their own cream more often than not. I don't know, but
it's Cool Whip's not bad. It makes me mad when it's like it's not whipped cream because it's not cream in it. It's like some weird ass substance. You know me with the food snobbery thing. I like to make my whipped cream. So mom's a Cool Whip person.
Oh, really?
I
was going to say, I bet homemade whipped cream would be even better on top of the pumpkin pie. But whatever it is, just make sure to have pumpkin pie with cream, and you'll never have pumpkin pie without it again.
Just get a little mixer, put in heavy whipping cream, a cup of heavy whipping cream, a tablespoon of vanilla, and a pinch of salt, and then just let it mix until it reaches peaks, and then you have whipped cream. Good.
Yes, sir.
Really whipped cream.
I'll have to remember that because my wife, she's the baker. We did actually, she did make whipped cream one time. We made a tres leches cake out of scratch, completely everything out of scratch one time, and she made the whipped cream that went on top. It was good, dude.
That is impressive. That is a tough cake to make. I love it.
Phenomenal, dude. Lemon. Oh my God, tres leches. I'd go on for hours about tres leches. All right, number 2 on your list, Mike.
Number 2 is pecan pie with a candied pecan crust. And I also like to put bourbon in the mixture for the pecan pie. So bourbon pecan pie with a candied pecan crust. That was a battle for first place. Like I legit was like, which one am I going to put first and second? So
that crust sounds like the star of that pie, dude.
It is really good. The filling with bourbon though is nice because They have this bourbon that's pecan smoked flavored bourbon. That's a little bit sweeter.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's plain and simple my favorite bourbon on earth, and I drink a lot of bourbon.
Yeah, I'm sure you and Mitch have had some long nights with some bourbon, my friend.
That one we've at least had, I'd say 20 bottles of that, the pecan bourbon. And we just learned about that in the last couple of years.
Yeah, there's a beer that comes out around this time. I think I spoke on it last week, but it's the Shiner Cheer. And it's got like a peach and pecan flavored. It's pretty good. It's a little sweet, so you might have one or two when you're done, but I'd recommend trying it if you ever see it.
All right, I'll look for it.
Might be good for this Thursday when you're hanging out with the family.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully they have liquor over there.
All right, Mike, here we are with number one. What's number one on your list?
It's reminiscent of banana pudding. It's banana cream pie. The crust is vanilla wafers crumbled up with melted butter, salt, and it's best if afterwards you do a little bit of caramel drizzle in the pie. Then you put your banana pudding basically in, and you top that with the wafers, and then homemade whipped cream on that, and then crust up wafers on top of the whipped cream. So you get texture all the way through. It's so good.
Man, I can't imagine a banana pudding with a crust, dude. That sounds incredible.
It's, bro, so good.
There's this huge...
go ahead. Sorry. No, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I would definitely, not save a piece for my dad.
Oh, shout out Roger Crum. No, what I was going to say is there's a YouTube chef that I followed. I've made a couple of his recipes. And he has a recipe that I haven't watched the video, but for a banana pudding pound cake, and the thumbnail just looks ridiculous, but man, that sounds super rich. But man, a banana pudding pie sounds really good. Now it makes me really want to try that banana pudding pound cake.
Bro, I have a recipe for a pound cake. I wonder if I could do that. That sounds really good.
After the show, I'll give you his info. You can find him on YouTube and check it out.
Perfect, man. Thank you.
All right, number one on my list. I'm going with the classic, Mike. Pecan pie, regular pie crust. I've never had it with the fancy crust. Usually store bought, but my wife made the best pecan pie I've ever had. She made it for her first time. It was phenomenal. We had it on our first Thanksgiving while we were married. And pecan pie, man, it's always going to hold a special place in my heart, especially around this time of year.
It's the best, man. Add a little bourbon to it, and then have her do a homemade crust. You could do like pretzels and pecans are good too. Yeah, salty.
I've seen quite a few of like the chocolate pecan pies. Is that something you've had?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I think regular's better, but all it is, you just add chocolate chips to your mix before you bake it. That's how I do it.
Sounds pretty good, dude.
I do that for when I make pecan pie for Muhammad and Steph. I add chocolate chips to it.
Yeah. It sounds pretty good. But I something as good as pecan pie, man, it's so classic. Why mess with it?
Yeah, I agree. There's no reason to. If you want to add some fun.
Exactly. All right, Mike, man, I enjoyed this discussion tonight. It's a little bit more pleasant, and when we'll have that effect, won't it?
The way they won that, yeah. Well, let's continue that. It's an hour, so I want to get this over with. But win on Thanksgiving. I'm tired of losing on Thanksgiving.
I know we won't talk.
Yeah,
win on Thanksgiving. But a win against the Giants. They suffered a big loss, man, to a Lions team that's looking pretty good now on a 3-game win streak. But what does a victory against the Giants say to you?
That we're in that tier that's above them, that they're playing above their head, but they're not really in that tier, And I don't know if they can get to that tier. Minnesota, I think, can get to that tier. We just wiped them out. If both teams play their best, we're going to wipe them out. I think we can beat Giants even if we didn't play our best. Like, I don't think they're that tier. So when we sweep them on Thanksgiving, I think it'll be kind of like, okay, good job, Giants, but y'all ain't really belong here,
Right. It's kind of like an on to next week type of thing.
Yeah. Then we get the 10 days off and we get ready for I don't know. Whoever it is.
The next time we'll see you, Thanksgiving will have happened. So I hope you have a good week with your family, brother. Before we get you out of here, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
At CD Piglet, letter C, letter D, Piglet, Paul. Enjoy. Is this the second Thanksgiving with the youngster?
No, yeah, this will be number 2 with baby Baker.
Enjoy, man. And he knows football. I've read the articles. He knows the football game more. So like the Thanksgiving game, you can start instilling him the importance of that in him.
Yeah, he's definitely interested in sports, man. It's been fun to see.
It's great. Nothing better feeling for a pop.
All right, well, guys, to everybody's listening, hope you guys have a good week and have a good Thanksgiving with your family. As always, we appreciate you joining us. Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15, and we will see you guys next week.
Love you, Dan.